Hey everybody. There was a suggestion on my YouTube page that I create a video for installation of the Trade Computer Extension. So here it is. Before I get too far into it, I do want to say that I'm not the developer. Obviously, Adventure, this guy right here, is a developer. He created the program. He's the one that updates it and solves people's problems if they come across any. So I just wanted to make that clear. Also, only you are responsible for what you install on your computer. So remember that when we're talking about different things that you can install. So the last thing I want to mention is if you do have any questions or comments or suggestions on how TCE can be made better, go ahead into this thread and I'll provide a link in the description. It's a thread on the Frontier Development's forums for player tools and appies. Go into this thread and post your question, post your suggestion, and normally Venture is really quick to respond to it, usually within the same day or the next day. He's pretty good to responding to the people who use the program and have questions or suggestions. And as I said, I'll put a link in the description to this. So let's get started. The first thing you need to do is follow that link to get to this thread and take a look at the very first post in the thread. It's where Adventure has a lot of the basic information about TCE. He's got the key features here, navigation, trade, exploration, general, and support. So you can take a quick look at that. A little bit lower you see where he's got the development news on some updates to TCE, what the current full version is, and he posts the change logs so you know what's changed between the different intermediate releases and the full releases. There's also a link to the TCE wiki, and let me just click on that real quick because this kind of serves as a user manual. He put a lot of information into this wiki about what TCE is, the launcher, error reporting, which I'll go into a little bit. And he's got some examples of the different panels that are available within TCE. So you can just click on those, like I'll just click on the navigation panel. He tells you a little bit description about what it is, and then there's an image here. What does it look like? So if you want to get into the wiki first and look through that and see if TCE is something you really want, this wiki is a good spot to do that. So moving on down, he's got some other things in here: screenshots, prerequisites, support tools, which I highly recommend before you install TCE. You don't have to, but I recommend EDMC. It's a really good program, and it's open source, so you can see what how the program is set up. And so if you do choose to install EDMC, you can look at this link, and everything you want to know about EDMC is here: how it works, what it does, how to use it, setting it up, this is all it's actually really super easy. You basically install it and then log into the Elite appy that EDMC goes to get its information, and that's it. It just does its thing. You don't really have to there's no really involved huge setup to do with it, but this has all the information that you want. If you want to check out the source, I think down here, if you scroll down, it says that if you have troubleshooting, if you have Python, you can look at the source, package for distribution. Where'd it go? Sorry, yeah, here we go. Running from source. You would need Python 2.7 and some other things. This part I don't really understand. I don't use Python, so I don't know, but my point is that along with this, I've also been using EDMC. A lot of people have been using EDMC for a long time and haven't run into any problems with it. And as I said, EDMC goes to Frontier's API to get the data that it gets, and TCE uses EDMC's executable to do that. So basically TCE is using the EDMC exe to go to the Frontier Development's API to get all this information on markets and your ship and everything like that, and then TCE is looking at that information and putting it into your local database. So there's no third-party database that it's going to or anything like that. It's basically going straight to the FD API to get its information. That's how I understand it. I'm pretty sure that's right, but I have been wrong before. So if anybody wants to correct that, go ahead. Anyway, if you don't want to use EDMC, that's fine. You can use, basically, you fat finger everything in yourself. You put in the data, the prices and whatnot, or you could use this Elite OCR, which is basically a program that you have the market information pulled up within ED. So you're playing the game, you go to the market, you open up the commodity screen, and then you hit a button to trigger Elite OCR. It takes an image of that page and it tries to recognize what all the values for sale price, for buy price, and then it tries to put that into your TCE database. Most of the time the image recognition is pretty good. Sometimes it's wrong, so you have to pay attention. It's a lot slower, it's a little bit clunkier, but not as clunky as doing it by hand by yourself. But I guess it's an intermediate step. EDMC is a lot better. You don't really have to do anything. Basically, you dock at the star port. TCE will automatically update the prices and information for that star port, and you really don't have to do anything. So there's actually 3 levels. EDMC does it all for you. You don't have to do anything. Don't have to click a button or anything. Elite OCR, you could use it if you don't want to do that. You use Elite OCR. That basically captures an image of the prices for the market that you're at, and you may have to change some things if it doesn't get the numbers quite right. And then if you don't use either of those, you have to fat finger everything in yourself. So, but you can do that. So it doesn't need those programs, but I do use EDMC. I do have EDMC installed, and I allow TCE to use EDMC to get all that information without me having to do anything. And I've never had any problems with it. So enough about that. He's got other things in here. What it doesn't do. Some facts. Make sure you check out these facts, especially if you're running any snags when you're using it. These guides in TCE in action. There's some videos and also some text where you can watch those videos to see how some people have used TCE to do different things. There's the wiki again. That I already showed you. Some hints, voice tech profile, and then supporters. TCE is free. However, after I was using it for a while, it saves me so much time, so much effort. I don't have to alt tab to go do things. It's all visible while I'm playing the game, and all that said together, I had to give the guy a donation. So if you do get to the point where you want to do that, when you run TCE, there's a donate button right here. If you click that donate button, what it will do is it'll take you to a PayPal site where you can make a donation. It's in euros, so if that's not your currency, do your conversion and then put in the amount in euros. And I think it's very well worth giving a donation of however much you want to give, because it's a great program. And then he's also, every time he makes a post, he has this in his signature for going to the wiki, so you can get to that. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for the preamble. Getting into the installation, as I said, if you've never used TCE before, obviously you have to start with the full version. So under the download right here, you have the update, you have the full version. The full version is what you want, so click on that link. That'll take you to Dropbox. You don't need a Dropbox account or anything like that. So if you get a pop-up here or you can see the sign, you don't have to do any of that. Just download, direct download. It'll take you to save the file or open it. You want to save it, so just save the file wherever you want to put it, doesn't matter. Save it, and then it's a pretty small file, so if you go to that folder that has that, you want to extract it because it's zipped. So right click and then extract all and put it wherever you want. I just leave the files in the same folder where I download the zip file. So extract, and it takes you to the setup file. And I already have TCE installed, but it doesn't matter. And when you click the install for it, just double click it and run it. Get the setup wizard. Here's where you want to tell it where to go, and here's where I'm going to put in a different path. So I'm going to put it in C, and then I'm just going to make a new folder, id TCE video. Okay, so it's going to put it in C, add TCE video, next, install, done. Now before you go ahead and run TCE, you want to make sure you're on the latest version. So as we saw, this was version 157 full version, which is we just installed, but there's an update 1.5.7.4, so we want to get that and put that in there to be on the latest version. So it's the same thing. Basically you're going to Dropbox, to the download the file, download, drag download, save file, okay, let it save wherever you want to put it, then go to that file, and here's a 1574 update.zip, so you want to extract that, right click, extract all, extract, replace. That's because I've done this before, so you wouldn't get that, it would just extract the files. So now these are the files for 157.4, which is update. So just take all of these files, copy them, I'm using keyboard shortcuts, and then you need to paste them where you installed TCE. So I put it in C, ed TCE video. I'm going to paste, replace them. It'll replace those files, and boom, you're done. The update's installed. Now when you click on the shortcut to start TCE, you'll be on version 1574. So let's just look at that real quick. Here's the shortcut that it made. Double click on that. Here's Windows being protective, which is okay, so just click more info. Because they do it because they don't know who the publisher is. You do, you installed it, run anyway, and TCE will start up. Okay, it thinks I haven't used it before, and I found the easiest way to get it going is to give it the game path. So click on that, and what it's asking for is the Elite Dangerous 64 game path. So I'm pretty sure that's here. Frontier, Ed Launch, Products, Elite Dangerous 64. This public test server is beta stuff, so you don't want that. Elite Dangerous 64. That's the exe. Click Open, and it detects Horizons 2.3, English, game path, blah blah blah. So you're good to go. You can launch TCE. And this is if you're doing a clean install, so it's basically TCE. It doesn't have any information in its database yet. You'll accumulate that as you fly around, and I have other videos on doing that. But basically TCE is installed and you're good to go. So the other time, or the other instance you may have, is if you've been away from the game for a while, you've used TCE before, you do have an existing database, but now you're installing this new version, and you need to import your old database. So you have a database from having used TCE before, now you want to import it. Simple, you click on database right here, and then transfer. This information over here is the basic information that TCE has when you first install it. Basically, to get your old database imported, you hit transfer, and then you tell it where that old database is. For me, I'm going to point it to my current actual installation folder, and you can see I have it, my actual folder that I'm using TCE in, I have it by date when I installed it. So OK, and what it'll do is it'll go into that folder, find the DB files, and it will transfer through magic those information into the database that you're going to have now, which is the updated version, because as TCE is updated, there's times when old databases won't function with the new programs. So you have to start with the fresh version, then import your old database so that it can update your database as well. So you can see it found them all. You're not done yet. You still have to click Start Transfer. So Start Transfer, and now it's basically taking those old DB files, your old database, and it's either transferring it or copying it, whatever TCE needs to do, so that your old database can be used with this new version. So this usually doesn't take too long. There's other buttons over here. See, now it came up as unverified. That's okay. You can go ahead and run from here. You don't have to go in and hit verify. Normally, if you do want to verify, you just click on verify over here. If you come in, you run into any problems, any of these won't verify and turn green, that's when you want to probably contact eVenture through the forums and say, hey, I have this problem, and this is what happened, and describe to them what happened. But I'm good to go right now, so I'm done. I've transferred my database, so I'm going to close this. That gets me back to the launcher, and now I could go ahead and launch TCE, which I'm just not going to do. Well, I guess it won't hurt anything. Although I'm not, I don't have the game running, so it'll probably just pull from EDMC where I'm at and come up with that information. So it's loading, and I have 3 screens. It's over on my left-hand screen, but you can see on the main screen the flyout panels that came up saying, hey, everything's good to go. And just to show you that it did come up, and it did detect where I am, LTT 2589, and it did pull in my old database because it's suggesting that I go trade here at Chromovit, so the database transfer worked. So let me just throw that back over on my other monitor here and close this, and then I'm going to close TCE. Okay, so that pretty much covers installation, clean install on the latest version, and then updating to the latest version, and then also what you need to do if you're going to import your old database, which is it's all pretty simple. Uninstalling is even simpler. All you have to do to uninstall is go to where you have TCE installed. So it was this one, this Ed TCE video. That's my installation that I just did for the video. And delete it. Or you want to delete it. Yep. Boom, it's gone. You don't have to do anything else to get rid of the files. You probably want to go ahead and delete the shortcut that's on your desktop because you don't need that anymore, obviously. But there's nothing else you need to do. There's no program you have to run or anything like that. I still have my actual current working version here, but that's all you have to do to uninstall it. Pretty simple. The last thing I want to show you quickly, and it's to help everybody, is this shortcut may be pointing to the wrong place now. we'll see what happens. Yeah. Yep. So this one is still working. See if it's pointing to the right folder. Okay, that one's still pointing to my old folder, so that's good. So the only thing I want to show you is if you do run into a problem, like I said before, help Adventure find the problem, help him find it quicker and fix it. The way you do that, he's got built into the program a little exclamation point here. If you hover, you can see it says report an error. So if you click on that, what it'll do is it'll open your email application, and of course I've got that over on the side as well, so let me bring that over here. So it opens your email program, whichever one you have associated with emails for Windows 10, and it's got his email address already in it. It says subject error report, and it's just telling you, describe the error, attach the 7Z, your forum name, any screenshot errors. So basically you want to just type in some details there for him, who you are, what happened when the error came up, if you've got any screenshots of the error, stuff like that. And then the only other thing I want to show you is this error report 7Z. That's in the TCE installation folder. So let's click on that real quick. Here it is right here. Error report files 1574 7Z. That's the file that he'd like you to add with the email. So let me just copy it and put it into the email, however you get it into your email application, and then like the directions say, describe the error and all that kind of stuff, and send that off to him. So if you're concerned at all about what's in that 7Z, then let's just take a look at it, and we'll extract the files to see what's in there. And this is saying, do you want to do that again? Because I've done that before, and it just shows you all the DB files, which is the database files that TCE uses to help Adventure track down what the problem is and try to figure out what the what's the source. Is it TCE, EDMC? Is it something that FD changed with the Elite itself that caused the problem? And then, barring all that, maybe it's a problem with your system. Who knows? But this stuff is what's going to help Adventure troubleshoot the problem and solve it as quickly as possible. Alright, so I think that pretty much covers everything I wanted. Installation, uninstall, what to do if you come across any problems, and how to help Adventure figure out what the problem is. Hopefully people find the video useful, and I'll talk to you next time.